Sub versus dub. This is such an old debate, I don't think I can bring much to the table, but I'm gonna try anyway. In the anime community, we have what is called subtitles, because anime is from Japan, and Japan don't speak English, so we need to read English. However, the invention of dubbing came along so that we could watch anime and hear English. So people would be happy, right?
Wrong.
I think it's safe to say this debate has been going on for, 100 years. I do want to break down the reason people side with one or just deal with both. I do have to tell a story to address my side. So this is my anime story. My starter was Cowboy Bebop, which I watched in dub. I went to One Punch Man that I watched in sub. Then My Hero Academia, Assassination Classroom, Death Note, and plenty more, all in dub. You're probably thinking I'm a dub person by this point, yet there's a twist to this story. One day I decided to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in dub. I could barely get through the first episode of this dub. The second episode I switched to sub, and this is the reason why I always watch in sub now. JoJo's in Japanese has such a different vibe that I couldn't watch something in dub anymore. Whatever anime I watched, I always picked sub. Why? The dub voice actors don't get to interpret the characters they're playing, they have to mimic someone else's performance. They have to try and match the same energy as the previous Japanese voice actors. I know there's dubs that are good because they let the voice actors experiment. This is why the Love is War dub actor for the narrator is hilarious, because he wasn't bound by lip syncing or rough translation, he just had to narrate what was going on, and they let him have fun with it.
Maybe we can check it out together. See what Kitahai's been up to.
Oh my gosh! It's happening! Everybody, it's happening! Oh, what's he gonna say?
Our festival committee has it under control, so there's no need for that.
Oh, come on!
Guess so.
Dubbing has a lot of limits for the voice acting side. I noticed this when I switched to sub and compared the two, which is why I usually recommend anyone sub, because you will get used to subtitles. And the more you listen to a different language, the more you'll hear the emotion.
What? An assassin? A spy? An assassin? This is so cool! Koroshia? Spy? Koroshia? Anya? Waka waka? Oh, poor me. I'm so lonely because I've got no mama. Anya, haha inakute samishii.
The only way to live is to fight. So fight. Just fight.
戦わなければ勝てない。戦え。戦え。そうだ。
Now, some people don't connect with the character because they're speaking a different language, so they stick to dub. Now, for me, the dub feels unnatural because of the performance at times, which is why it would pull me out of the moment. When I watch sub, the voice acting feels intentional because it was made to be this way. Now, this is when two groups collide, because it said people who like sub have a superiority complex, and people who like dub can't read. Now, as someone who likes sub, I get the reaction from the dub lovers. I get why it's annoying to deal with people who are very over the top about watching it in sub.
Dub is trash, bro! It's trash! Ugh, gross!
Both sides can be very annoying, and both sides ruin it for each other. Now, I get why people like dub, because it's in a language they speak, and they get to connect with that character, because they're speaking in a language they understand, and they understand the emotion they are portraying. However, the reason it can feel a little ignorant is because when you make something with intention of being in a different language, Let me explain it this way. I apologize for that ignorant comment. There are people that won't watch a black and white movie simply because it is in black and white. I find it to be a very petty reason to not watch something. If the movie's intended to be in black and white, then that's how the artist wants it to be. He is not making it for you, he is making it because he expresses his art this way. He does it because he enjoys it. Now, there are old movies that have no choice but to be black and white due to the technology at the time, but they still used it to their advantage with lighting. Another example I can give is not playing a video game simply because it is a top-down point-and-click like Baldur's Gate 3. Not playing it for that reason I find to be very petty, and you're missing out on a bunch of other mechanics in the game. If you don't watch a movie or show because it is animated, I find that to be very petty as well. The same reason why you won't watch an anime because there's subtitles, I find to be petty. Does that make sense? If a movie/TV show is in a different language, it's supposed to be that way. Whether it's to give a specific feeling and immersion or because it's just simply made in another country. I personally would want to experience a piece of media how it was intended to be experienced, and dub pulls me out of that experience. That's why I like sub more, and that's why people who like sub have a negative reaction to dub. Now, I'm not saying you're not allowed to watch dub. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't care if you watch it in dub. To each their own. I understand the dub side as well, where you connect with the character more because you hear the words they're saying, not just reading them. You feel like you can focus on the story rather than trying to finish reading the sentence in time. Which admittedly, I get that way watching sub as well sometimes. I gotta hurry up and read sometimes. I can't help it, the animation gets distracting at times. I understand both sides. I do find myself quoting lines like from Aaron that I think the dub watchers miss out on, but honestly, you know what? We all love anime, so who cares?